Greetings everyone! The nostalgia of indulging in retro MS-DOS games. Growing up during the Intel 286 to the first Pentium era, squeezing those extra kilobytes of RAM and successfully configuring jumpers for sound brought unmatched satisfaction. Until recently, desktops have always been my first choice when putting together DOS gaming computers. Little did I know that laptops released during the late 90s can be excellent space-efficient platforms. This awareness led me to set out in search for the ultimate retro gaming laptop. Thanks for joining me, and today I'm reviewing a Toshiba Satellite 2545 XCDT for gaming in pure DOS. I picked this laptop for three reasons. It features an AMD K6-2 processor, an S3 VIRGE MX 3D graphics chip, and the Yamaha 715 sound chip. The AMD K6-2 stands out for its unique features. When caches are disabled, its performance drop is less severe compared to Intel counterparts. This CPU also introduced 3D Now technology, which was AMD's answer to Intel's MMX. Secondly, I selected this model due to its S3 VIRGE, which stands for Virtual Reality Graphics Engine. The S3 VIRGE, a successor of the Trio 64 series, is renowned for its outstanding compatibility with various 2D games. And last but not least, the Yamaha YMF715 sound chip, also known as the OPL3SA3, is wired through the ISA bus, promising excellent pure DOS compatibility. Here's the external overview. On the front left, there's a 3.5-inch floppy drive and the system LEDs. On the right side, we have the audio section with the volume knob, 3.5mm earphone, microphone, and line-in jacks. There's a 24x CD-ROM drive, which I replaced with a DVD-ROM drive. Next we have a USB 1.1 port and a PS2 keyboard-mouse combo port. The rear features the power adapter port that requires 3A 15V supply. It's the same plug type used by many Toshiba laptops from that period. I recommend getting the higher 4 or 5A adapter. You will be able to use it for higher spec laptops as well. Moving on, there's a 15-pin VGA port, a 9-pin serial port, the cooling fan, an infrared receiver, and the parallel port. On the left side, you will find a Kensington security slot, the power button, two PCMCIA slots, a modem connector, and the hard drive bay. Just like the Satellite Pro 4300, this laptop is equipped with a standard 44-pin IDE connector. Even if the caddy is missing, you can still plug in a hard drive directly. I'm using a 2.5-inch compact flash adapter. The computer recognizes 64GB industrial and pro-grade cards. However, only 32GB are recognized when using a mainstream grade card. On the bottom, there's a RAM compartment with a single slot for a 144-pin 60 nanoseconds EDO RAM module of up to 128MB, increasing the system's total RAM to 192MB. The keyboard is typical of Toshiba laptops from that period, featuring 84 keys and an acupoint pointing device. The Satellite 2545 was the first laptop from Toshiba in the Americas to use an AMD K6-2 processor. At launch, it had an MSRP of $1,900 with a single CPU configuration clocked at 333 MHz. I got mine from Goodwill for less than $70 inclusive of shipping and taxes. There are two variants of this laptop, the CDS with a dual-scan 13-inch display and the model to go for, the XCDT, which features a 14.1-inch active matrix display. Let's power it up. The BIOS setting is accessed by holding the Escape key, followed by the F1 key when prompted. One notable feature is the hardware video stretching setting, which maximizes screen display area in pure DOS. The Level 1 and Level 2 caches are adjustable, and the cache policy can be set to write through or write back. There is also a throttle setting that can be adjusted on the fly by cycling through the function and F2 keys combo. This can be done within any OS, saving you the need to reboot. The second BIOS setting page allows us to set the Sound Blaster, the Windows Sound System ports, and interrupt of the Yamaha sound chip. The VGA address is adjustable as well for loading drivers and TSRs more efficiently. As a result of the BIOS and VIRGE-era mappings, it is possible to obtain 621 kilobytes of conventional memory with mouse drivers loaded, and 579 when the OAK CD-ROM driver is installed. This should be plenty for any DOS games. For sound, since the Yamaha chip is connected via the ISA bus, we only need to set the blaster environment variables to match the BIOS. Unfortunately, there's no hardware wavetable, nor an external MIDI port. One option is to use a serial port to MIDI interface such as the MPU-232 from Shop and Soft MPU. Using the integrated line-in connector, MIDI module outputs can be merged with internal audio without a separate mixer. The Yamaha Setup SA utility provides additional settings such as changing IR cues and various volumes. Just make sure to run the utility again with the S switch for the changes to take effect without having to reboot. The earphone output is surprisingly clean, with very low floor noise. Before proceeding with benchmarks, let's examine what tweaks are possible with the Set Mode utility. Only cache settings can be adjusted. Regrettably, there are no options for modifying the multipliers. Here are the Speedsys results. When all caches are disabled, the lowest score obtained is 5.31, which is roughly equivalent to a 16 MHz 286. With the various combinations of the cache modes and throttle settings, I obtained scores equivalent to a 386DX, 486DX50, Pentium 133, 266, and a Pentium 2 300 MHz. The level 2 cache doesn't affect Speedsys scores at all. Let's now compare 3D bench results. This laptop comes quite close to that of the 38633, but may be too fast relative to the 48633 MHz CPU. Many games were optimized for them during the heydays of MS-DOS gaming, although the true measure lies in running actual games. For most part, there isn't much to discuss. The laptop just delivers exceptional compatibility. The hardware scaling enables full-screen display at various resolutions. Quake runs great at 400 by 300 with an average of 30 frames per second, but this computer lacks power for 640 by 480. It runs at less than 15 frames per second, despite my attempts to enable write combining. Now it's time for the real acid test of running some popular CPU-sensitive games. Alone in the Dark runs nicely when all caches are disabled and throttle set to high. There is no issue making the character run by double tapping, which is a problem with fast CPUs. There are just some minor slowdowns between camera changes. Wing Commander is not spot on. I have to pick between slightly sluggish or slightly too fast. It's playable though.
Know that Britannia has entered into a new age of enlightenment.
Ultima 7 is another title that is extremely CPU picky. With cache disabled, it is slightly too fast, but still very playable. Let's now venture in Windows 98. Drivers are conveniently available on the official Toshiba website. The laptop runs very well, and with USB and networking support, file transfers become effortless. With only 2 MB of video RAM, benchmarks such as 3D Mark 99 won't even run. However, less demanding DirectX 5 games are playable at lower graphics settings.
3, 2, 1, go!
To conclude this review, the Toshiba Satellite 2545X CDT is a great laptop that will run most MS-DOS games and one of the very few to be usable as a 386DX class machine. The S3 graphics chip provides one of the best video compatibility, and so does the Yamaha 715SA3 for audio. It is a solid option with very few drawbacks. I'm giving it a score of 3.8. Following this K6-2 laptop, I found an HP N3410 featuring an AMD K6-2 Plus CPU. The HP laptop supports Power Now, and the multiplier settings is unlocked. I'm looking forward to thoroughly testing it for my upcoming episode. Stay tuned for the results. And please don't forget to hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see more videos.